Okay, Dave, I think we're doing it. All
Wow.
right. Okay, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. Here's my lovely girlfriend. Let's go ahead and roast some tracks. All right.
Is this
Going.
for something or just people in general or
No, this
just
isn't for
personal?
anything. This is just like the general Discord stuff. Recently, we've kind of created a system where people post and roast before post, and then they get like if they get enough of these roast me's, they make it to my roast song.
Wow.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
No.
I'm not forcing her to do this shit. I'm forcing her to listen to like 3 hours of lo-fi. You're gonna get some MIDI cringe, babe. Is it loud enough? Is this creepy or chill? It's hard to tell, right?
Is this person in the chat?
Yeah.
Cool.
This Oaskany?
Yeah.
Oaskany. All right, that was Oaskany. With Down Here.
Good stuff.
What'd you think, babe?
Um,
I guess I usually like to structure my roast with three questions. What's working? What is it? What's
what
working?
is it?
Yeah, what is it?
What is it? Who did you write it for?
Yeah,
Did you write it for your mom?
yeah, what is it?
What is it?
What's working?
What's working?
What's not working?
What's not working? What are your thoughts?
What is it? Feels like instrumental, lo-fi, kind of dreamy, chill, almost kind of rocky because of the guitar instrumentation, but definitely feels like an instrumental for vocals.
I think that's the intention, right?
Yeah. What's working? I like the instrumentation in general. I like the guitar tone. I like the Labs piano represent. Um, for the most part, the chords work, except there's definitely some dissonance between your chords and the piano and what your guitar is doing. As far as what's not working, I think it's boring. But then again, I know this is for vocals, so I can't really speak to that. But I think even if it was for vocals, I think you could do more with changing the energy throughout the beat. I think it's like not as clear as it could be. Where, for example, your choruses, let's say, I mean, your drums, for example, are just basically doing the same thing throughout, and they also sound kind of stiff. I think you could do with like a more acoustic drum kit, or just record even some just like hi-hats or top loops or something like that, because your drums feel a little herky-jerky and a little stiff.
That's what I was thinking too. Even just like the tops, maybe adding like different, even just the same sample but pitched differently, and maybe like put in the stereo field a little bit differently.
Right.
Like during the chorus, or even just like the last chorus, adding a little bit something extra. It doesn't have to be a whole lot, just a little extra percussion maybe.
Yeah, I mean, just something. Just give us something, right? I mean, it just feels a little like after the first minute or minute and a half, we basically have gotten all the musical information that there was to get. So, make it worth our while, even if it is, meant to be vocally driven. But yeah, what do you think? Anything else,
Did you like
babe?
the guitar?
Um,
It sounded really, 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 really slightly out of tune to me.
yeah.
It's hard when the MIDI is perfectly in tune and then you have a real instrument that's not perfectly in tune.
Real instrument people
Right.
problems.
Yeah. What's that? Yeah. Did you hear it? Or is it just me?
I heard that the guitar sounded dissonant. I don't know if it was just because it was out of tune, or if there was just some like notes that he was playing like really almost like harmonics or something. Like really
Oh, I
high
meant
notes.
the chords.
Yeah, like I think the chords from the guitar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they sounded like they were not entirely in tune with the piano, but I don't know if that was like a tuning issue, if it was just the notes were
Somebody
off.
said, is it meant to be creepy or chill? And
Yeah.
I would love to know the intention of it.
Yeah.
Because I could see it going either way.
Totally.
Holly berries.
What's up?
Nothing.
All right. Well, thank you, Oskany. Good shit. I'm gonna give you a nice big old yes. Yes. All right. Let's keep going. Exit K with beat type. Jesus Christ.
What?
This is terrifying. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, let's do it. All right.
Is it still working?
Yeah, it's good. All right, so that was Exit K with Beat Type Beat Type Beat. What did you think, babe?
This person said it's just kind of a loop. Didn't really expect it to get on the stream.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it sounded like a loop.
Yeah.
But we all make them. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Nobody's perfect. I mean, yeah. To me, it just felt like cool instrumental for rap vocals or something like that. Felt pretty empty on its own. I think there was plenty of room for vocals, or if not, just some sort of more concrete, in your face melody or something like that. You sort of teased it with like this kind of bell sound in the background. Maybe it's just a matter of turning that up, making it more in your face, more aggressive. What do you
Changing
think?
up the melody. Nice
Yeah.
textures, nice movement in the field, the panning and the movement.
I mean, good drums.
Yeah.
Just kind of a loop, basically. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if the intention is to sell it to a rapper, it's probably fine. But if it's something that's meant to stand on its own, I think it could use a lot more development to sort of make it feel like a song rather than a beat type beat.
Nice.
But thank you guys, Exit K. All right, beautiful. Let's keep going. Platypus with Space Monkey. Oh, that's coy.
Is this person here?
I don't think so. Platypus, you out there?
Hello?
Hello?
You?
All right, cool. That was Platypus with Space Monkey. What do you think, babe?
You go first.
Okay. What is it? It feels like kind of backgroundy video game music, something that I would
Real 80s.
Yeah, 80s, something that I would play like a old school platformer while this is playing in the background or
It
something.
sounds like some of the 80s sounding presets in like GarageBand or something.
Yeah, Yeah, so I think this definitely suffers from what we like to call MIDI cringe, where it's just using like really cheesy stock presets from like, a Casio keyboard or some shit.
Hmm.
And it just feels very like the sounds are cheap sounding. Um, Compositionally, I think the chord progression is cool. I think for the most part, that all works. You do get a little too crazy, I think, in the middle there, uh, with all that shit going on. That main lead, plus this other melody, like three or four melodies going on at once here.
I don't
Yeah. What do you think, babe?
like, yeah, all the chromatic, walk downs and stuff is obviously intentional. Um, I don't want to say that I don't think it's working because I can't really articulate why.
I think it's
I think it's creative, and obviously you're trying to do something different, so I appreciate that.
I mean, I dig the sort of vaguely classical vibe with it.
Okay.
It's like Baroque music almost. Like you're doing some like crazy ass, or you're trying to do some like crazy ass counterpoint or some shit.
Okay.
But I think the sounds are just so cheap that it kind of it makes the sell of your composition fall short. And I think you cram too much stuff in the middle there, just by layering these melodies on top of one another. Without also sort of changing up the energy level throughout the composition.
Mm.
I think the composition in terms of the energy throughout is a little flat. So maybe
a little static.
Yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
Okay.
So I think some more movement there, maybe getting us to the main melodic idea faster, or kind of changing up the energy level of the drums, all that stuff. But really, the main thing is just the sound selection.
I disagree about the melodies. I don't think it was too many. However, just as is with the sounds used,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love it. I think they could sit a little better together. I don't think you would necessarily have to take them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's possible.
That's just what I think.
Cool. Well, Platypus, thank you so much for that Space Odyssey.
Yay!
All
I love
right.
that picture.
Give a big old yes. All right, Exit K again. You're bored.
Did
You're
you leave? I think they
He
left.
exited.
Oh.
So I guess you got bored with making beat type beats, and now you're just bored. So I don't. Maybe this is just going to be type. Let's find out.
Reading?
I don't know. All right. Cribs type beat.
Damn.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. About to check out 50 Cent's house to this.
50 Cent. How old is he?
50.
50?
Jesus Christ. He's
He's
44.
44.
Oh, he's getting there.
Dang.
He's getting there.
Oh, he was born in Jamaica, man.
Oh, nice. All right, that was Exit K with I'm Bored.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think, babe?
Drums sound real nice. Nice
Mhm.
groove. I don't.
What else, babe? Be brutal.
No, I don't know these people.
I don't know him either. Okay, I'll go. Yeah, I agree. The drums and the bass sound really dope.
Yeah.
They knock. I think the central musical idea is good. It gets pretty boring quickly, though, because it's just so repetitive. Once again, it's just obvious that it needs some sort of rap component. And without
And that's
it,
why we're here.
and that's why Alyssa's here.
Spit on your tracks. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So yeah, obviously needs some sort of rap vocal component or some shit. I think as far as the instrumental goes, I think you could be more creative in terms of elaborating or embellishing your main organ sample. Is that what that was? It was like an organ or like a fuck. What's that French thing? That
Accordion
or some shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think you could do more there to accentuate that or replace it with something. Like, it could be a nice little synth melody every once in a while in your breakdowns where you're sort of filtering out the main sample. You could do more in terms of raising or lowering the energy of the drums, like add a shaker loop, add some rides, add some open hi-hats, whatever. I don't really see I don't really see a reason why it needs to be longer than a minute without the rapper. Kind of just generally feel like that with beat type beats in general.
Do you know what these people
The intent?
Is it
I mean,
intended to be like collaborated with, or are they meant to stand alone as instrumentals? Do you know what people are trying to do? It's probably different for everybody.
Exit's right here. Exit, are you trying to get a rapper out of this, or is this supposed to be?
What are you guys up to?
Yeah, what are you doing there?
Just compressed contact.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Hello? Okay, there's like a delay, so it takes a while for,
I see.
like, whatever. But yeah, if you want a rapper, maybe there's some rappers in the Discord. I don't know. You can always just go over to Collabs.
Aren't they on Instagram?
Instagram rappers
Don't people?
sell beats on Instagram?
Yeah.
I guess.
I don't use Instagram, so I don't know.
I don't know either. All right, well, I'll give you a big old yes. I would say get a rapper on it. If not, or even if you do, see what you can do. He says, I would love to get on board with people.
Cool.
So, what's the process there? How would you even get somebody to rap over this? Harass them on Instagram?
You would know better than I do.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't
You
know.
go back 10 years and go on SoundCloud and
Go,
find people.
going back 10 years and go on SoundCloud. See if there's any rappers in the collabs section of the Discord. Might be some good people there. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well,
Cool.
let's keep going. Blossom with Turn On. Here we go.
Is your still working?
Yeah.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
I could shut up around. I get DJ Phantos on this shit.
They never say to each other, let's smoke a marijuana cigarette. They say, let's turn on.
Sick. All right, that was Blossom with Turn On. What do you think, babe?
I thought it was longer than that, just because I feel like there were so many distinct parts to it.
Mhm.
I didn't feel like, oh my god, this song is still going on.
Right.
Wow, real good sounds. You great playing, obviously, great chords. It's a good one. It's a real good one.
Yeah. I mean, you should just send that shit to Chill Hop right now, dude.
Yeah.
Get that royalty money. I mean, it just sounds like the most generic Chill Hop stuff I've heard, but it's executed at the highest level. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If that's the sound that you're going for, then I think you nailed it beautifully.
Yeah, definitely.
So
there's a lot out there that's not very creative.
Right.
Or, not that it's not well done, just not very well thought out, probably. Or you can hear when people haven't spent very much time just throwing some loops together.
Right.
This is done very well. Obviously, you spent some time on it.
Sick. Yeah, great sounds, great mixing. Send that shit to Chill Hop, get that royalty money. All right, I'm going to give you a big old yes.
Do you give people no?
No, I never give people no.
In front of everybody?
But sometimes when I think they did a good job, I give them an extra emoji, like me playing a saxophone or a trumpet.
My God.
Jesus Christ.
Is that sausage fattener?
Yeah, it's sausage fattener. That's, I wouldn't say this needs more sausage, but I'll just give you a nice big.
Was that Shrek?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Where? Oh, here?
Yeah, okay.
That's sick. That's a new one. Okay, great.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to Souls. Dad, I locked the keys in the car. Ooh, okay. Here we go. Like you.
Get in the car, Jack.
Sick.
Wow,
What'd you think, babe?
good stuff. I like all of the different texture and the, would you call it like Foley?
Mm-hmm.
The noise, I guess, the like the
Paper
crinkling.
crunching, the typewriter, all that shit.
Yeah, that's nice. I think just in general, I guess if it fits with the song that you're trying to make, that's a really easy way. Just like you had John Hopkins layer stuff like that in, sound and noise and for crunch and texture. So I like that a lot. Good sounds. Cool song. Oh, I forgot to say in the song previous to this, good bass sound. But also in this one too, I guess they both reminded me. Good bass sounds.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, I agree. I think all the Foley is great. I think it's probably too loud, most of it, but I would just, turn that down, problem solved.
Or you could put a utility on it and automate the volume in different sections.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. I don't know how much that like contributes to like energy of, but if it's moving, I guess.
Right.
Any movement helps.
Yeah. Speaking of movement, I think for the most part, the musical ideas you present here are really, really good. I was hoping for a little bit more in the second half. It doesn't feel like we did anything new there. So, I was hoping for a B section, basically, which we didn't quite get, or at least a higher level of energy on the A section. It just felt like you were doing this breakdown somewhere in the middle there, and I was expecting when it come back, it was like, we learned something along the way.
Like new ideas?
Yeah, like some sort of new idea, or at least a new layer or lead or something. Or like higher energy drums or something like that, but we never got that. So I think all the ideas you present here are really good. I think it just needs a little bit more progression. I know it kind of feels like it's in the lo-fi vein, which isn't exactly known for that much progression. But I mean, take a note from the previous track with the really dope B section that was happening here with the piano solo, I think. And that was like a minute shorter than yours. So yeah, I think more than anything, it needs a B section. What?
Somebody said, "Why do you have to hold hands?" I didn't even realize that we were. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say now.
People are saying, I don't feel like the second half took off enough in the end, but the vibes and sound all the way through, like maybe some higher octaves or evolution in the lead string sounds. Yeah, I kind of tend to agree.
Okay.
But yeah, the chord progression, the sort of musical ideas you present already are all really good. The sounds are good. It's just the progression there. I think you could do a little bit more in the second half. So that's my 2 cents there. You have anything else, babe?
No.
Okay, let's keep going. Give you a nice big old yes. And a little nice cute little cat for you. Is that a cat?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Holy shit, dude. Why is XK showing up so often here? Is that fair? I don't know. Shall we just do this one, babe?
I don't know exactly what people are discussing, but I think starting a song, yeah, like if you always start with chords, maybe start with drums one time, or
right.
Start with something different, or recreate something. Even if you're just making a song that already exists, maybe you can make some of your own presets, and then from that something else comes. If you're just like stuck, I guess.
Yeah, totally. I was actually talking with a student yesterday about that whole recreation thing, and one thing that he has anxiety over is like if he does that, it'll just sound like everything else, and he won't be quote unquote unique or whatever. But one thing that I hear in his music a lot is that it's just too all over the place. So I don't think there's anything wrong with just making shit that is derivative. I think there's a lot to learn there, and you could make a whole career out of making derivative shit, and there's nothing wrong with that either. It's it's not a bad thing knowing what genre you're in and sticking to your guns and furthering that.
Yeah, I don't think it's copying. I remember in the beginning of when I started learning production, I thought using reference tracks was cheating. I thought using samples was cheating. I thought you had to use all of your own sounds, all of your own like presets were cheating.
Make your own DAW.
Yeah, exactly. um, but then I kind of reflected to like, you know, when you started learning to play an instrument, when I did, you learn songs,
Mm-hmm.
you learn how to play things that already exist. Because you're not to copy somebody, it just puts more tools in your toolkit.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were looking at something about improvisation, right? And it's improvisation is not really improvisation. It's just like using stuff that you've practiced,
Right.
right? So I guess I forget what we were originally talking about, but
Basically, don't be afraid to copy shit. You know, chances are it's
Or,
not going
yeah.
to sound exactly the same anyways.
yeah,
So yeah.
or get inspiration from whatever, or um, sometimes what I'll do is I'll make playlists on Spotify that are just inspiration for creating, and then you can come back to them when you're stuck on something, and or when you don't know where to get started. Just
Totally.
get inspired by something. I don't. What do you do?
I mean, recently I just always been starting with drums.
Mm-hmm. Like straight in arrangement, straight to
arrangement view, just drums.
Mm-hmm.
Which I never used to do. I always used to start with chords or, you know, a synth patch or something like that. But I don't know, drums help lock in the structure for me really quickly because you have to pick a BPM. You kind of are already sort of locked into a certain genre based on the
structure
pattern. Yeah, it's the structure that it creates is just, you know, it's really helpful for me.
Try it out.
Yeah, start with drums. Okay, cool. All right, Exit K, it's, round 3. All right, let's take a listen. Exit K. Nice tag, bro. Sick. Round 3 with Exit K, that was Prillo. What do you think, babe?
Was that shaker going on in the whole? Was
At
that
the
just
very
at the
end? No, I think it was. I heard it just at the end, but it probably came in somewhere before.
Isn't that kind of what we've been talking about? Just even add a little bit of shaker,
Right.
Just a little bit of extra texture. To make it
Yeah,
different.
for sure.
Good stuff. I like the sample. I like the way you worked with it. It was like kind of phasey. Sounds good. You look tired. You just looked at me like. my god.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just gonna say the same shit I said for the past three. It just feels a little empty and needs vocals. But as far as the beat itself goes, I think the phasiness is a little over the top. And I think the kind of sample MPC style chopping that you do with the strings is cool. But there's a lot of space that's created, a lot of empty space where it's just drums playing for a split second. And I think you could fill those spaces with something a little bit more interesting than just silence. Could be like a drum fill, could be like a open hi-hat, could be like another sample or a vocal chop or something. But you just give these spaces for yourself, and without filling them, it feels a little empty and a little underbaked. I also think that the toms that you use in the drums are, I think the idea is good. I think the toms feel a little dry earlier on. Like, if I just play right here. That. You hear that?
Oh, they sound real 80s.
Yeah, they sound...
Maybe they're not the right sound for
I think they're
this.
just not the right sound. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they need a little bit of more reverb, more life to it or something like that. They just feel a little dry and kind of cookie cutter.
I think in general, if you're having to put like so much processing on a drum sample, it's probably just not the right sample.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Get a
just
different
get
one.
a better one. Yeah. Cool. I don't really have much else to say. What do you think, babe?
I think that was my favorite one. Of
Yeah.
This person.
I think it was.
so far.
Yeah, I think it was pretty
I wouldn't
good.
mind this staying as an instrumental. I hear what
Yeah.
you're saying about the space. I do like space in music,
Mm-hmm. Me
but
too.
I do hear what you're saying about all of them don't have to be empty and like add in some percussion to some of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Word up. Okay, exit. Good shit. Big old yes. Let's keep going. Canto with the part. Let's see how are we doing on time. You want to do like 2 more?
Yeah, whatever.
3 more? Let's fucking go.
I got nowhere to be.
All right, that was Cantho with Apart. What'd you think, babe?
I think this person did what we've been talking about of changing drum sections, adding the double time beat at the end and adding extra elements. Especially like in the tambourine and I guess in the percussion in general, more like changes in velocity and more groove in it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are pretty quick things. Like if you're in Logic, there's MIDI transform and Ableton. There's ways to change the MIDI real quick or just add a groove on it. Gosh, I had a lot to say now. I forgot. The percussion was not. It needs to be repitched.
Yeah, it was very out of tune.
Yeah.
Like specifically the what is that? The tabla? Yeah, I think it's the tabla. Doug pointed this out. Yeah, for sure, it needs to be in tune if you decide to include that. I agree with you. I think the percussion needs to be refined. I think it's too much a lot of the times. I can see why you would need to do that because I think without it, the track gets a little boring because it doesn't have sort of a concrete melody or harmony, really strong melody or chord progression to sort of drive it forward, which is sort of understandable. I mean, it's sort of an ambient thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, you had the vocal chop in the intro, and that was, like, very, like, Clams Casino.
Yep.
Kind of, I would say, a bit too reminiscent. It feels a little bit like a ripoff, at least in the beginning. And I think the intro overall needs to be shortened. I think you get to the point. Yeah, it was like a minute and a half, and then you sort of drop the tabla with all the percussion in without any indication prior to it that something was coming, so it was a little jarring.
It was. I thought something else was playing.
Yeah. Shit. I also was expecting you not to go... I was expecting you to go halftime when you did drop.
Oh my god, that squirrel has an entire persimmon.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. Yeah. Yeah. So I think you could do more. You could refine the percussion more. I think generally is what my critique is. I think you could tune it, add more velocity, indicate to the listener that you're gonna be bringing it in or taking it out or switching it up.
Just put some life in it.
Put some life in it, yeah. Nothing wrong with using top loops or samples or anything like that. I think that's all fine.
Even if you get like a top loop, I don't know how much this changes it really, but just chop it up, rearrange it a little bit.
Right.
Just make it how you want it.
Totally.
You don't have to just copy paste it in.
Yeah, I agree.
Or you can, I guess.
You could, yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Just fucking leave a loop there going. All right. Well, I think that's about it. All I have to say. You, babe?
Yeah, let's keep going.
All right, let's keep going.
Else, I don't.
You have a big ol' yes? All right.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
You only come and go when you feel like it. Been at it for a while, but you won't.
This is what they play at 24-Hour Fitness.
Oh,
fuck. Messing with my head.
Oh, gosh.
And it just ain't fair. You know I can't fight it. I can't fight it. Wanna put my hands all over your body. Ooh, and if the stars don't shine, yeah. And if the moon fell down tonight, I would be there no matter what. I wanna be the one to make you fall in love. Make you fall in love. Make you fall in love.
Totally right. 24-hour
before you left. Been an addict for a while, like a cigarette. I know that I should quit, but I'm not ready yet. Oh no, no, no. And it just ain't fair.
Yeah, damn.
You know I can't fight it.
Yeah.
I can't fight it. Wanna put my hands all over your body. Ooh, and if the stars don't shine, yeah, and if the moon fell down tonight, I would be there no matter what. I wanna be the one to make you fall in love, make you fall in love, make you fall in love. All of your body, all of your body, all of your body, all of your body. Wanna put my hands all over your body. Wanna put my hands all over your body.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think, babe?
I think for what it is, it's very good. All of the sound choices are appropriate. The sections or the arrangements are appropriate. It sounds like a Justin Bieber type song that you would hear in the gym or something.
Right. 24-hour fall playlist at Forever 21.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Obviously, a lot of people are into that. I don't think it's what we listen to. Do you? I don't.
I mean, I can go hard at that sometimes.
I like the brass.
Yeah, the brass is really
Brass
nice.
is cool.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know, like, in what stage of production this is. I think you can tell me what you think. When you hear stuff like this, especially now that it's more like of a pop thing, I expect the mix to be a little like polished and
Right.
shinier and brighter, I guess. And this wasn't as much. I don't know. How does it affect beats when you put them on SoundCloud? Does it like compress them
It does
strangely?
compress them, yeah. It does compress them, so we're not getting like the, 320 kbps stream or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think if you're going to be doing this, I mean, it's been done so many times before at such a high level that if your mix is anything less than perfect, it's just not going to be able to compete.
Yeah.
I think the main thing I heard that I think you could work on is that your drop is just, I know it's supposed to be soft and minimal, but I think it's too soft and minimal. It doesn't really feel like the main section of the song. I'll just play it again. Like this right now. Like that's it. It feels like the drop is over.
Yeah.
And then, after this, that feels a little bit more appropriate. Maybe. Like I think you just need a little bit more there. I know it's supposed to be refined and minimal and soft so that the tweens listening to this in Forever 21 don't get scared. But I think it's just so flaccid.
Such colorful language.
You can tell it's not my favorite genre, but I think you need a little bit more there. Everything else, I think, ticks all the boxes for the genre. I think it's really well done. Outside of that, I think for the most part the arrangement is perfect. The vocal works really well. The instrumentation is really appropriate. Sound design all good. Just I think it needs more in those drops there, and also. You're gonna have to, if you to really get this at the professional level, you're gonna have to use reference tracks, and just really kind of make sure that you are stacking up at every point there. What do you think?
Dang, I was watching something yesterday. Let me see. It's a plugin by Isotope, and it's for mixing. And they have a match EQ on it. It's insane. It's so good, and it reminded me of like one of their previews. Let's see, RX-7. No, it wasn't that.
Is it an Ozone?
Yeah, it was an Ozone.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of you would use something like that, but if you're going to be like doing your own mixing, if you choose to do that, you might want to look into whatever plugins you can do to get it closer to your references.
Yeah.
There's so many good references for stuff like this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I would just really make sure that it's at that super high level because it's just so competitive to make this stuff, and make your drops harder. And then the Forever 21 tweens will hit their jewels and have a good time to this. So big old yes to you. Tonal balance
by the
control.
way, what?
Neutron? Is that what it's called?
No, I don't know, but if you do want plugins, I think a lot of them are on sale for Black Friday.
Yep.
If you do want that, maybe look into it. If you do want anything in general.
This is not sponsored.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything specific. Why would you sponsor me? Because I think I'm gonna buy the Sound Toys bundle. So
I'm down to split that with you. Bro.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways.
Cool. Mr. Fox says, dude, bigger than all the audio tips is giving this dude a tip on finding his soul.
Yours?
No, I think the guy who's making this.
His
I think
soul?
Mr. Fox is implying that this is, quote, soulless music.
Why?
I don't know, because it's like commercial or some shit.
Oh.
What do you think? I think it has its place.
Yeah. I don't. It's not. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. For what it is, I like it.
Yeah. No. Exactly. Yeah. I think. Yeah. All right. Cool. Good shit.
RX-7.
Yeah. RX-7 breaking down elements of samples. No, that's the one where you like clean up.
You can erase things.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's insane.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
How many more do you want to do?
Let's do like 2 more.
Somebody else said do 5 more because they wanted theirs.
Because they have their tracks down here.
I mean, I don't know.
It's this guy, S-Fog. So that would be, we got 1, 2,
I want to get
3,
to them. Let's get to them.
4. But they're all, okay.
I don't,
Yeah,
whatever.
Whatever, let's do it. Liam, you're fucking hilarious. All right. Well, what do you think, babe?
I think the chat covered
I think that
a lot of what I was thinking. It's just that the chops are so abrupt, and I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I think you guys said it best. It's just the sample chop thing is fucking annoying, and it gets old after like 15 seconds. There's just not enough musical information to really sustain this track for more than 30 seconds. I think if you played out the chop and had a little bit more, that would be cool. I think the drums are, okay. But, after like 20 seconds of that, I'm like, fuck. I can't take that shit anymore. But I think the drumming is solid. I think if you extended that sample, I think as an intro, it's interesting. It's just it needs way more for it to, work.
Some variation.
Yeah, it just needs some variation, exactly. Cool. All right, well, that was easy. Let's keep going. Plasmic with Wanderlust. Here we go. All right. What do you think, babe?
It's cool. It sounded like if a golden retriever was at the park and it had a cell phone, that would be its ringback tone.
In the 80s?
In the 80s, exactly. Yeah, you guys are using a bunch of like 80s sounding synths, which is cool. I think they're all kind of sitting like in the same frequency area.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not like, they don't have room for their own space, I guess.
Right.
The drums are getting kind of lost too. I don't know if they're just too quiet, or it seems like their frequencies are kind of like washed out, like especially in the kick. They're just too like quiet, I guess. They don't have enough presence.
I agree. I mean, with regards to the frequency stuff, I mean, I think this is supposed to be like synth wave or retro wave. It's supposed to sound like it's from a VHS tape in the 80s, right? So it's supposed to sound kind of muffled and shit. But I don't think it serves the track well to do that. I agree with you. The drums are really quiet, and as a result, the whole thing feels really flat in terms of energy throughout. So it gets boring pretty quickly. I think the sound selection is appropriate. I think the ARPs are cool. I think the sort of kind of washed out Juno 60 cents are all solid. It just doesn't change, really. So I think first off, I think you could turn your drums up like 6 dB or some shit like that. And, let the energy ebb and flow, break it down, remove everything except the ARP, or remove everything except the drums, or bring it back with, more drum, big cheesy 80s tom fill or some shit like that, and hit us with the extra synths. I don't know. Vocoder, something to sort of sustain the energy and the attention, and because right now it sort of drifts into the background so quickly. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. It just it was like a little like boxy. I tend to stack a bunch of stuff like in the 300, 400 range, like that muddy boxy. So I know it well, and so I know it when I hear it because I messed that up. And I think it just needs a little more clarity. I think there are a lot of interesting synths going on, and they need their time and place to be heard. Yeah,
exactly. So use more of the frequency range, spread the synths out, make some variation of the energy. I think it could be a lot more interesting. But I think it's, a solid start. Musically, the chord progressions and the harps and all that work. So, all right, Plasmic, here's a big yes to your first track, and let's go ahead and check out the second. Oh boy, here we go again. 7 minutes. I don't think I'm going to make it through this. If this is going to be anything like the last track, I'm going to skip this.
Can't last 7 minutes.
No, I cannot. Oh my gosh. Well, we'll see. I'll give it, a minute or two. little bit. Yeah.
Oh, what happened? Did it change keys?
I don't know. Maybe they just added this sound. Should we keep skipping or?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Oh. Key change again. Ugh. I'm gonna skip to the end here. So, what do you think, babe? I think Skate Alex has some good advice.
Where?
Compress it to a 4-minute song, make it a little bit more exciting would be Dope IMO. Yeah, I think it's just too long.
Too long. Either turn up the drums or use different sounds, maybe. They're getting kind of lost.
Yeah. Less so than the previous one. I think the drums do a little bit more here,
Mm-hmm.
but I still don't think they do enough. I think there's more variation. Generally, there's like more musical ideas. You have more stuff coming in and out. I mean, we still skipped a bunch around because it was all happening way too slow. But there at least was, musical ideas coming in and out. And the overall vibe, I think, works. It's kind of super spacey and, retro. And I think that, you evoked that well. Still sounds a bit muffled, maybe less so than the previous one, but definitely could use fuller frequency range. Yeah, I think just more than anything, it's just the arrangement could be condensed, like to 3 minutes, maybe.
Somebody said, why compress? He should limit it. Good one.
Okay. All right. Do you have anything else for this one?
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's do this one, last one. This will be Sfog.
He said, or he or she or them said we're saying their name wrong.
Who? Sfog?
Yeah. I don't know how to say it.
Sfog?
I don't know. SF.
Shrimpy?
OG. Okay.
Okay, let's do Shrimpy. All right, here we go. Let's do it. Got that Labs again. Got that Spitfire Labs piano again. I'm pretty sure that's it. S-Fog?
Oh, you said it right. So.
Sick.
What did you think?
Cool ambient piece, cool chord progressions, really interesting harmonies. For
Mhm.
most part, sounds worked. I wasn't sure about some of the percussion you added at the end. Like, I don't think you need the clap really, or if you do,
I think it's just too dry.
I think it's yeah, exactly. I think it just needs reverb and space and stuff.
Mhm.
I think you could add more in the middle just to sort of heighten the drama there. I know it's still supposed to be ambient, but I think you could just create a little bit more raise and energy, which is pretty much everything I say. What?
Nothing.
Is Chief Squirt getting clapped? That's funny. All right. It's hilarious. Yeah. What do you think, babe?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I like a lot of the sound choices. I like the vibe of it. I think it was just meant to be atmospheric and nice.
Right.
I like the changes of it.
Yeah. Good sounds, good chords. Maybe could do with a little bit more beef in the middle, and maybe add some reverb on those claps or faps or whatever those are at the end. But solid stuff. Okay, I think that about wraps it up for today. Thank you guys so much. Happy Turkey Day. Yeah, patrons, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. Peace.
Bye.